let's keep that round of applause going as we welcome our other groomsman, David Hughes. He has a surprise toast for our bride and groom. Let's give David a round of applause. Let's hear it for David.
I didn't tell her I was going to do this. My name's David. If you don't know who I am, that's my sister. She's in white. I wasn't really sure what to say in this situation. I was thinking like I should write stuff down about how like I'm glad you guys met each other and stuff. That's cool. But there's some other things that I wanted to just take care of while I had the opportunity. And I'm not really organized, but I have a really good memory. So I'm just gonna have to use that. These are really jumbled things that I thought I'd just share, and they're not really in any order. So I'm just gonna go. My sister and I never really fought when we were kids. I don't know why. I don't think anyone ever informed us that we weren't just supposed to like each other. We had like a few skirmishes, but never really anything. We kind of just got along. It was kind of weird. I remember a few years ago, I was watching TV, and she kind of just came up to me, and she was like, "Come on, let's fight. Like, we used to fight. Like, come on." She was like bumping me, and I was just like, "You better stop." And she kept doing it, and so I stood up, and I picked her up, and I dropped her on her head. And she went upstairs and cried, and we haven't fought since then. I was thinking about how you guys are going to Hawaii, and I was thinking about the last time we went to Hawaii, and my mom told me that I had to help Melanie carry her bag from our hotel to the other hotel we were going to. And it was so heavy that I hurt my back so bad that I laid in bed for 3 days. So, like, you're married and that's cool. But like, if she asks you to carry her bag, I was just gonna say, you probably should tell her to suck it up. Okay. Not done yet. When we moved into the house that we live in now, we figured out that when we're in bed after our parents make us go to sleep, we could knock on the walls and we'd hear each other, which is stupid because obviously we'd hear each other. And so we thought it'd be cool if we figured out some things that we could say, like after, like, we really only figured out how to say, "Are you still awake?" and "Yes." And so we used to just sit there and just say that. And then after a while, I would just sit there just wondering what the correct combination of knocks would be to say, "Shut up, let's go to bed." Sometimes I wonder if my sister would have ended up being a nurse if it wasn't for how many times she had to wait with me in the emergency room. And there was only one time that I had to wait with her in the emergency room, and it was because I hit her in the face with a golf club on accident. I think that my sister and I hold the world record for the most days in a row spent eating taquitos and watching the TV show Chips. And that's not really important to you guys, but it's very important to us. My sister and her friends used to make me play Hanson songs on the drums because they were so obsessed with them. They made me promise not to tell anyone because this was back in the days that listening to Hanson was socially unacceptable, much like the current days. It's not that embarrassing if it weren't for that they've gone to multiple of their concerts as well. When we were little kids living in our old house, I was the only boy on the block, and I remember watching the girls, they would play house in our backyard. And one day I was walking back there, and I got closer, and I overheard them arguing, and it was stupid, but I just listened. And they were arguing between the 4 girls who was going to be the wife, and obviously it came down to money, and because she was just like that. And after a while, I remember I was like kind of curious, like, there's 4 girls, who's going to be the husband? And I listened, and they were arguing, and finally they decided to just have an invisible husband. And so then they were arguing over what his name should be, and I don't know why I remember this, but they sat there and they were like thinking, like, what should his name be? And Melanie, after a while, she said, "How about Ryan?" I totally just made that story up.